Mr. President, let's talk about land. One of the burning issues in your administration has been the expropriation of land with or without compensation. And that the term of reference for that is Section 25 of the Constitution. Now, in Parliament, you had given the right to accept a percentage from other political parties, particularly the EFF, in order to change the Constitution or amend the Constitution to change Section 25 in order to expropriate land without compensation. That was turned down by the ANC MPs. However, South Africans still want land. How do you respond to that, Mr. President?
Well, firstly, the question of land. The ANC has a very clear policy. And people forget that one of the causes of the struggle was land. So it can't just disappear. And with time, I think we reached a point where we could work on the policy, clear policy, we had a constitution, because we knew that these matters must be resolved. From immediately after 1994, we had a policy, which we thought was a policy to help us move on this issue, the question of willing seller, willing buyer. And that was done, but it could not succeed because the issue is more serious. What then we are saying, because in the Constitution, there is the clause that talk about appropriation. So we say, let us correct the question of the land within the law, within the Constitution. The Constitution allows that. And therefore, this is one of the options that as we talk, we must deal with. We want to have a more legal way of dealing with it. The point I was making in Parliament was that if it needs to change the law or amend the Constitution for that matter, and I said the land was taken from the black people. Black parties must vote together. I said it. I was addressing the traditional leaders because it is a serious matter. If this matter is not resolved, it could be a time bomb that will explode down the line. We need, as a democratic country, to find a way where we all agree how to do it. Not to do it to please certain people, but to solve the problem of the people who own no land, who own no means of production, the poverty, inequality, the poverty was brought particularly to us, black people, by the land that was taken away. And you can't solve those issues, inequality, unemployment today, without resolving the land question. Even our efforts to industrialize, without space, without land, even that kind of program will be very restricted. So it is a critical point. South Africans should accept. We are not saying let us take the land from those who possess it, but we're saying we can't have people who own all the land when other people don't have it. And they're citizens, they've got rights also to utilize the land. That's a matter we're talking about. Let us come together, work together to solve the problem. There's no need to fight about it as if you say, I don't want this issue, it's going to disappear. Because those who are hungry, those who have nothing, what must they do? So all we are saying, let us not use wrong methods. That is why when in Parliament, there was a question of the EFF, the ANC did not vote with EFF because EFF has a thing that occupy the land, get in there. I think the ANC was feeling there's no clarity here. And also, if EFF was experienced knowing what to do, they ought to have sat down with the ANC and said, look, this is what we are doing. These are the reasons, and we're going to do it this way. You can't just say, we are making a proposal, vote with us, without even engaging. That was a problem. Because you can't say because the land is a common point that we are fighting for. Therefore, automatically, particularly if you come from the background, wherein you send people to say, just go and occupy the land. That's not dealing with the issue of the land from within the framework that is acceptable. So that was a problem.
Why is it then, Mr. President, that in 23 years of democracy, less than 5% of the land has been expropriated, even with the policies in place? Land has still not been delivered to black people? Or is there a non-compliance from the white population for land expropriation?
I think it is the manner in which we dealt with it. I think, as I say, the policy that was really leading was government will buy the land from those who own it and give it to those who don't have it and those who claim it. The willing buyer, willing seller. But as you can hear, it's a very soft way and user-friendly way of solving the problem within a particular framework. But if the seller is not willing, what do you do? Because we did not have a number of people saying we are willing to sell, here we are, this is so is the land so much. Only those were willing to. Now, in other words, we are saying this method doesn't, because it depends on the individual. If an individual is not willing, stays with this huge, huge land. So we are saying, let us work out another method, still user-friendly, still within the framework of the law, but to deal with it properly, to be effective, in a sense, to address the problem, not to talk about it and just to solve it in the manner that you can't solve it. We also did not say if the land is bought, is given to people. We opened two options. You occupy it, but if you want, you can get money. I think we should have had a very clear system that once the land is given back, no question of the money must come. The land comes back, you use it. Because land is economic thing that you have. And land must be used by you and the generations to come. If you take the money, you sell it, you take the money, you are going to use the money, it's finished, you are back to square one. Because the land must guarantee, if we have got land, you can even borrow money, you can do everything. So we now say we need to have a very clear program that those who get the land, they must not get rid of it or get more poor because they did not use it. We have now seen that if we give it to them, they can't use it. And therefore, government must have a program that is going to compel them not to get rid of their property. So that is what we are looking at. There are many things we would want to do to ensure that the issue of the land is addressed properly.